The premise of the book really is about moving away from the traditional funnel as a construct for managing sales and marketing transactions, treating our customer as a transaction, and really moving more towards a relationship. And so we introduced a model called the loop, which really focuses on the eternal infinity life cycle of a customer relationship and all the different nuances and touch points. And in thinking about that, moving away from a traditional funnel and the way that you think about using data within a funnel model versus how you think about data within a relationship model is very, very different, because there's a lot more esoteric and different types of nuances to data when you're thinking about in terms of relationship versus a transaction. So the first part of the loop looks a little bit traditional because you're still looking at acquisition related activities to bring a customer into the fold, and that could look very much like the top of the funnel. But the second part of the loop that looks at customer expansion is actually fundamentally very different. So it looks at onboarding, adoption, value realization, loyalty, and advocacy. And each of those stages, there's a whole ream of data that companies never even thought about or tried to use before, because they're just mostly focused on closing the transaction and then moving to the next transaction. So when you look at onboarding, for example, I mean, that's the first great chance to build a really strong relationship, because now the customer has the risk. They've now invested, they've signed the contract, they're on the hook to pay money. And many companies just flip the order over to service or manufacturing or fulfillment, and they move to go close the next deal. But for the customer, they're so excited, they're now beginning a relationship. So what data can you capture in that initial period as the customer is joining, and how do you make them feel welcome, and how do you design better sales and marketing and service outreach programs that really welcome the customer to the community? The second part is about adoption, and data plays a critical role here, because sure, we all want to sell more products and services to our customers, get that. But instead of just thinking about it in terms of wallet share, cross-sell, upsell, renewals, why don't I focus on whether my customer is actually using my product or service? In order to do that, I need data.